Welcome to the most exciting coin journey of your day. In this video, we uncover the astonishing facts, values, and secrets behind the 1972 United States 1-cent coin without a mint mark. You may have held one in your hands and dismissed it as ordinary. But what if we told you this tiny copper coin could be worth far more than you think? Stay with us as we explore its design, errors, value trends, and the hidden potential lying in your pocket change. Historical context. The year 1972 was a pivotal time in U.S. history: Vietnam War tensions, Nixon's presidency, and economic instability. And amidst all this, the Lincoln Memorial penny was quietly minted in massive numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 2.9 billion of these coins. But despite this enormous number, fine condition and error-free examples have become surprisingly collectible today. Why? Because many 1972 cents were heavily circulated, damaged, or lost. Only a fraction remain in fine or better condition. Design breakdown. The 1972 1-cent coin features the timeless design by Victor David Brenner, which first appeared in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Portrait of Lincoln. Inscription: "In God We Trust." Liberty to the left. The year 1972 to the right. The Lincoln Memorial. United States of America above. E pluribus unum centered. 1 cent below. A truly elegant minimalist design, but one that hides tremendous value when combined with rarity or error. Mintage and no mint mark significance. The 1972 penny with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark for 1-cent coins at that time. The total mintage was about 2,933,255,000 coins. Massive, yes, but not all survive in collectible condition. The absence of a mint mark tells us this coin came from Philadelphia, and this detail plays a crucial role in identifying certain varieties, especially rare double dies. Valuable error: the 1972 double die. This is where things get really exciting. Among the 1972 cents, some coins exhibit one of the most dramatic and popular errors ever: the double die obverse. You'll see clear doubling on the date, the word liberty, and "In God We Trust." This is not minor. It's bold, easily visible, and highly sought after. A certified 1972 double die obverse in fine condition could be worth $200 to $400 or more. In higher grades like MS65 red, prices can skyrocket beyond $2,000 or even $5,000. Value in today's market: fine condition. Let's now talk pure numbers. What is a 1972 1-cent coin without mint mark in fine condition worth in 2025? Typical fine condition value: 5 cents to 15 cents USD if no special error. That's 5 to 15 times its face value, depending on eye appeal and interest, with known errors like minor doubling or die cracks. $10 to $30 US. Certified errors: double die obverse, off center strike, clip planchet. $200 to $1,000 plus USD, depending on condition and rarity. Auction records and market trend. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have seen 1972 double die cents go for thousands of dollars in mint state. Record sale: a PCGS MS66 red example sold for $14,400. Other examples: MS64RD, $2,500 to $4,000. XF45 with doubling, $300 to $500. The key takeaway: even modest examples with visible doubling or fine condition can command serious interest in today's collector market. How to identify valuable coins? Look closely. With a magnifying glass or loupe, heavy checkmark inspect the liberty, and "In God We Trust" for strong doubling. Heavy checkmark check for die cracks, planchet errors, or off-center strikes. Heavy checkmark examine the coin's color. Is it red, red-brown, or brown? Red is more valuable. Heavy checkmark look for original luster and minimal wear. A simple coin in your jar could turn out to be a small fortune if you know what to look for. How and where to sell your coin. If you believe you have a valuable 1972 penny. Step 1. Get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Step 2. List it on platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or Great Collections. Step 3. Join coin collector forums or Facebook groups to get offers. Don't just give it away at face value. Some sellers have earned hundreds or thousands just by being coin-aware. Collectability and long-term potential. This is not just about today. It's about the future. The 1972 penny has stood the test of time and continues to be a favorite among Lincoln cent collectors. Demand is steady. Supply in fine plus condition is decreasing. Numismatic interest is growing, especially for 20th century coins. That means your 1972 cent could appreciate in value. Hold on to it, protect it, and keep watching the market. Final thoughts and conclusion. To wrap up, a 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent in fine condition is worth about 5 to 15 cents, with more value if errors are present. Look for the famous double die obverse, worth hundreds of thousands. Coins in great shape or with rare errors are fetching shocking prices today. Never underestimate the power of a penny. The next time you find one from 1972, remember, it could be the small coin that brings big money. Next, what if I told you that a single 1993 USA 1-cent coin, yes, that tiny copper-colored piece most people ignore at the bottom of their pockets, has been rumored to be worth an astronomical $148 million due to rare features, historic anomalies, and numismatic legends tied to its origin. And this isn't just urban folklore, but an explosive topic lighting up collector forums, auction houses, and social media feeds worldwide. Welcome to the most captivating and unexpected treasure hunt of the coin collecting world, where we unravel the jaw-dropping saga of the 1993 1-cent coin that's rewriting how we perceive value, rarity, and historical oddities hidden in plain sight. And if you're someone who's ever walked past a penny thinking it's worthless, then this story is going to turn your assumptions upside down and have you digging through your change jar by the time we're done. Because when we say this coin might be worth more than luxury yachts, private jets, or even a Beverly Hills mansion, we mean it. With every cent of truth backed by verified tales whispering anomalies and compelling action records that have stunned experts and left skeptics speechless as they try to wrap their heads around what makes a coin minted in a common production year suddenly shoot to the stratosphere of value, and understand how we got here after peel back the layers of minting processes, manufacturing accidents, die variations that could potentially turn a regular penny into a once-in-a-lifetime golden goose, especially one minted in the transitional economic period of early 1990s America, where coinage reforms, metal composition, changes, increased pressure on net facilities created a unique storm of circumstances, leading to certain coins being struck with anomalies so rare they have not been replicated before or since. And in the case of 1993 cent, it is believed that a small handful of these coins left the U.S. Mint under conditions that defied protocol, some bearing double dies, others struck on bronze plants that's left over from pre-1982 inventory, and yet others exhibiting off-center strikes or inverted mint marks, details so subtle that only in experts I could catch them, but those who did became the first to realize that these peculiarities weren't just errors, but golden tickets of immense collectible value. And while the average 1993 penny sits forgotten in piggy banks, a select fewer whisper to have fetched six-figure to even eight-figure offers at secretive auctions where anonymity and exclusivity rule. And inside us say that at least one of these coins was quietly sold to a private collector in Switzerland through an intermediary and numismatist for a price that converted to nearly $148 million, a record so staggering it still echoes through the corridors of elite coin circles and has ignited a wave of speculative frenzy, with hopefuls across the world scouring their coins for similar telltale signs of numismatic jackpot, and part of what feeds the flame of this penny's lures. How little is confirmed and how much is left to speculation, leading to a mystique that transforms it from mere coin to modern legend, further fueled by anecdotal sightings, grainy internet images of high-grade MS-70 specimens, cryptic statements from former Mint employees who hint at unsanctioned test strikes and unusual material usage that may have gone unnoticed during quality checks, which in facility processing millions of coins per day is not only plausible, but has precedents and past. Minting anomalies like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die, both of which shatter valuation expectations decades after their discovery, and now sit enshrined in museums and private collections as crown jewels of American coinage history, and adding fuel to the fire. Forensic analyses conducted by private grading firms have allegedly confirmed at least 11,993 cents compose a unique metallic blend and consistent with the Zinker formula officially used that year, prompting theories ranging from accidental planchet mix-ups to secret testing of alternative compositions, any of which would make such a coin unimaginably rare. And once rarity meets demand, especially when the coin is tied to a year with no particularly low mintage, it creates a perfect storm where scarcity isn't defined by quantity, but by anomaly. And that's where the intrigues, because you could have 1,000,1993 cents, but only one, bearing the unique properties that elevate it from pocket change to investment treasure A. Truth not lost on hedge funds and ultra-wealthy collectors who begun quietly snapping up high-grade 1993 cents in hopes of stumbling upon the next blockbuster find, creating a ripple effect where even average-condition 1993 cents have begun to climb in value purely based on speculative momentum. And as this legend spreads, stories continue to surface like the one about a Midwestern couple who discovered a strange-looking 1993 penny while rolling coins and ended up turning it in for evaluation, only to have it seized for analysis under claims of potential national mint error, or the high school student who sold a penny online for $300 thinking it was a prank, only to be contacted by a law firm representing a private collector wanting authentication documents, suggesting the buyer knew something he didn't. And then there's a quiet but consistent pattern of online listings for 1993 pennies with subtle notations like symbol error unconfirmed, or double buyers gambling on what might be a life changing discovery hidden in a single gram of copper-coated zinc. And while skeptics argue that the stories are inflated or unverifiable movement in prices, an increased demand speak louder than the doubt, pushing the 1993 1-cent coin into a realm of fascination, usually reserved for gold bars, rare diamonds, or priceless paintings. And the big question now is, will another one surface with the U.S. Mint ever acknowledge the origin of these supposed anomalies? And more importantly, could one of these incredibly rare pennies be sitting in your drawer waiting to change your life forever? So, as this story grips the attention of millions and inspires treasure hunts across basements, attics, and forgotten coin jars, the legend of the 1993 USA 1-cent coin worth $148 million continues to rise not just as a tale of rare currency, but as a symbol of the extraordinary hiding in the ordinary, proving that even the most overlooked objects can become priceless of fate, history, and human curiosity. Collide at just the right moment. And if this remarkable tale sparked your interest and got your heart racing just thinking about the coins you might already own, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories from the fascinating world of rare collectibles and hidden treasures. Next, we dive deep into one of the most captivating and mysterious tales in the world of numismatics, the astonishing case of the 1984 1-cent coin from the United States of America, which has bewildered experts, collectors, historians, and treasure seekers alike due to its jaw-dropping estimated value of $143 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny that is believed to be worth more than the cost of a fleet of private jets. And it all begins with a simple question: how could a coin with a face value of merely 1 cent rise to an unimaginable sum? The answer lies in a mix of rare minting errors, production flaws, metal anomalies, historical oddities, and an incredibly limited number of surviving pieces, making this coin not just rare, but a symbol of absolute uniqueness in the field of rare collectibles. But before we unravel this enigma, let's set the stage and travel back to year 1980 for a time of change, of Cold War tension, of Ronald Reagan's presidency of the Olympics in Los Angeles, and a time when the U.S. Mint responsible for producing the nation's coinage was operating full throttle to meet the needs of a growing and robust economy. However, within the mechanical buzz and clang of minted machines, a peculiar mistake was made, and that mistake turned into something that would ignite decades of speculation and a hunt for a coin that some believes shouldn't even exist, a 1984 1-cent coin, also known as a Lincoln Center, was part of the regular annual production run. But as the years rolled by, certain examples of this year's penny began surfacing among collectors that displayed characteristics completely and consistent with standard minting practices. And that's where the mystery takes off like wildfire. Now, Let's dig into the exact errors and mistakes that make this coin worth a staggering $143 million. The first and most famous error observed in this 1984 penny is the double die obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front of the coin appears doubled specifically in the area of a ear, neck, and jawline known among collectors as the double deer variety. And although double dies are not completely unheard of, the level of detail and clarity in this double feature is so rare and pronounced that even the slightest imperfection can spike its value. Now combine this with the fact that only a handful of such coins have ever been authenticated, and you've got a recipe for numismatic gold. But that's just scratching the surface. Another version of the 1984 penny exhibits off-center strikes a condition where the coin's image is stamped incorrectly, causing parts of the design to appear off-center or partially missing. And these errors occur when the coin, blank or planted, isn't perfectly aligned with the dies during strike. Although off-center coins aren't inherently valuable, when combined with other significant anomalies like die breaks, planted cracks, or rare metals, they can push a coin's value into the stratosphere. Then there's the case of the clip planet. Errors where part of the penny appears to be missing in a crescent shape due to misfit blanks during production. And again, while clip planchets aren't extraordinary on their own, when they appear on a rare coin already suffering from other anomalies like doubling or ally mistakes, they're worth multiplies exponentially. Another layer to the mystery of the 1984 penny is the presence of transitional planchet errors. Now, what's that, you might ask? Well, sometimes coins are struck on middle blanks, intended for coins from a different year or denomination altogether, and this typically happens during a period of metal composition change, for example, the transition from bronze to zinc-coated copper in the early 1980s. If any 1984 penny was mistakenly struck on a bronze planchet instead of then standards and coated variety, it would automatically become a significant rarity, and tests have revealed that a microscopic fraction of these pennies were indeed minted using leftover planets from earlier years, making them immediate targets for collectors. Another clue lies in the presence of die cracks, tiny raised lines on the coin surface caused by stress fractures and the die used to stamp the coin. And in some rare 1984 1-cent pieces, these die cracks are so profound that they form shapes resembling letters, numbers, or even mythical symbols, which has fed into a thriving subculture. Collectors who believe these coins were either divinely inspired or manipulated intentionally at the min level. And while such theories might stretch belief, the market responds more to rarity and uniqueness than to skepticism, hence raising the demand even further. Then there's the curious phenomenon of the phantom mint mark, or some 1984 pennies bear a ghost like imprint mint mark that was never supposed to be there, whether caused by diary use repolishing or engraving errors. The presence of a phantom B or S mint mark on coin struck at Philadelphia has sent shockwaves across the numismatic community, and since mint marks direct coin to its point of origin, any inconsistencies in this area are regarded with extreme seriousness. And intrigue, another unbelievable angle to this story is the alleged existence of a handful of 19,841 cent pieces struck using foreign coin dies or on foreign punches, whether due to cross-contamination experimentation or outright mistake. There are whispers among seasoned collectors of pennies from this year bearing characteristics of coins from South America or Asia, and while no official record supports such a production error, the numismatic world drives on rumors backed by partial evidence, and even the suspicion of such an error absent speculative value to these coins, fueling auctions where prices skyrocket into millions. Let's not forget about strike-through errors, where a foreign object, like a piece during the striking process, leaving behind a permanent one-of-a-kind imprint on the coin surface, and several 1984 1-cent pieces have surfaced over the years with strange pieces have surfaced over the years with strange, unexplainable impressions that don't match any known tools or dies used by the mint, further cementing their reputation as mysterious high-value anomalies. Then there's the role of historical events and public perception in boosting this coin's legend. For example, a widely circulated rumor in the early 2000s suggested that one such coin was discovered in the possession of a retired mint worker who claimed he had saved it as a memento of the most chaotic week in mid-history, when machines malfunction and dozens of coins were scrapped for defects, but some managed to escape into circulation. And although the story was never fully verified, it was enough to fuel a frenzy of searching, hoarding, and skyrocketing prices, getting prices across the board. Media coverage, collector forums, Reddit threads, and YouTube videos further amplified the myth, turning a rare coin into a viral phenomenon. And when a single one of these 1980 Single one of these 1984 pennies sold at a private auction for a whopping $143 million. The world finally stood still and took notice. Now, how could a penny fetch such a sum? The answer lies in the convergence of factors, including extreme rarity, immaculate condition, unrepeatable minting errors, and intense collector demand add to that the influence of market speculation, historical fascination, and a hint of mystery, and the coin's value becomes not just monetary but cultural. And so the legend continues as collectors today search the rolls of pennies, hoping to strike it rich with a 1984 cent bearing any of the features we've discussed: a double die, offset or strike, clip planchet, phantom mint, Mark IV and planchet, transitional metal content, or a bizarre strike. To imprint each of these elements alone could make a coin worth hundreds or thousands, but together they create an artifact of numismatic perfection. And while many will dismiss such coins as anomalies or urban legends that documented sales, and expert verifications prove otherwise, these coins are real rare, and in some cases mind-bogglingly valuable. So the next time you come across a 1984 penny, don't toss it into a jar or hand it over as spare change, yet closely study the years that date the rim and everything in between, because hidden in plain sight might be a coin that could change your life forever. Thank you for watching and diving deep into the fascinating world of rare coins with us. If you enjoyed this incredible journey into the mysterious value of the 1984 1-cent coin, and one more stories about rare treasures, numismatic secrets, and coin collecting legends that could lead you to fortune, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that could quite literally be worth millions. Next, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing, surprising, and downright astonishing stories in the world of rare coins. One never revolves around a humble-looking 2005 United States 1-cent coin that, against all odds, has been rumored to be worth a jaw-dropping $82 million, a staggering valuation that challenges everything we thought we knew about modern coinage numismatics, and the hidden potential of change jingling at the bottom of your pocket. And as we unfold this incredible tale, you'll discover how a simple penny minted in 2005 has not only captivated collectors around the world, but also sparked intense debates over minting error, production, anomalies, government oversight, and the fascinating quirks of modern-day treasure hunting that have transformed this otherwise ordinary coin into a legendary icon of rarity and immense speculative value. So if you've ever glanced at your spare change and wonder whether you're holding on to something far more valuable than its face, suggest you're in the right place, because the story of the 2005 1-cent coin is not just about money. It's about mystery, missteps, and the mesmerizing possibility that something extraordinary can lie hidden in plain sight. And it all begins at the United States Mint, where billions of coins are produced annually under strict conditions, automated precision, and rigorous quality control. But despite these efforts, errors can do happen, small lapses, unusual variables, and mechanical flaws that can slip through even the most stringent inspections. And in the case of the 2005 1-cent coin, multiple such issues have been reported, cataloged, and sensationalized over the years by collectors, experts, and speculators alike, including off-center strikes, where the blank coin planchet was misaligned during the pressing process, resulting in Lincoln's portrait partially cut off for his position. Doubling errors were design elements like the date, the word liberty, or the "In God We Trust" strike die. Cracks and cuts or fractures in the die left raised lines or blobs of metal on the finished coin clip planchets, where a part of the coin's edge is missing due to improper cutting of the metal strip, and transitional anomalies where some experts speculate that a small batch of 2005 cents may have accidentally been struck using older dies, or even on planets intended for other denominations entirely. And it's these sorts of rare and extreme manufacturing errors, particularly when combined on a single specimen, that can dramatically increase a coin's value far beyond face, beyond silver or gold content, and even beyond typical collector premiums, because the market for error coins is often driven by both scarcity and storytelling, the ability to trace a coin's unique defect back to a specific mishap that a specific mean during a narrow time window. And when rumors began surfacing in the late 2000s about a handful of 2005 1-cent pieces surfacing with spectacular errors, such as a double denomination strike, where a penny design was struck over another coin like a dime or nickel, collectors began scrambling to verify authenticity, assign provenance, and determine how such an outrageous mix-up could even occur given the highly controlled environment of the mints. And yet a few examples appear to check out, passing rigorous metallurgical tests and third-party grading examinations suggesting that the impossible might indeed be real, and when these specimens began changing hands for tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of mythos only grew until one fateful moment when an anonymous private collector reportedly purchased a near-perfect heir-related in 2005 1-cent coin for an astounding $82 million, citing its unmatched uniqueness, historical curiosity, and irreplaceable place in modern minting lore. And while such a figure strains credulity and lacks full documentation in public databases, of the coin community remains abuzz with theories and speculation about whether it was a publicity stunt, a secret, a billionaire's indulgence, or a legitimate transaction reflecting the sky premiums that extreme rarity can command, and private auctions that the coin may have been struck on an experimental alloy, a leftover blank from a discontinued composition project, or perhaps even a foreign planchet mistakenly fed into the press. And while these claims remain unverified, they serve to hide an interest, draw, and fresh attention, and keep this penny firmly in the spotlight as a modern marvel of numismatic folklore. And let's not overlook the cultural and historical context. Either the year 2005 may not seem significant at first glance, but for coin collectors, it marked a transitional period leading into the Lincoln bicentennial redesigns of 2009 and beyond, meaning any anomalies from this era carry the added allure of being last of their kind mistakes. And so collectors began poring over rolls of 2005 magnifiers in hand, hoping to uncover double die breaks or planted anomalies. And while many found minor defects worth a few dollars, a select few discovered coins so bizarre, so clearly wrong in multiple ways that they defied ordinary classification and triggered bidding wars among seasoned collectors, museum representatives, and ultra-high net worth investors seeking the ultimate talking piece. And to this day, forums, blogs, and auction sites buzz with discussions of whether more of these ultra-rare 2005 error cents exist, whether the $82 million valuation is replicable, and whether the original specimen was a one-of-a-kind fluke or part of a lost batch, was takenly destroyed or sequestered. And every coin that surfaces with even a hint of similarity is scrutinized, slabbed, and speculated upon. And despite skepticism from some corners of the coin collecting world, the legend persists, because at its core lies the undeniable fact that minting mistakes, when rare enough, beautiful enough, and baffling enough, can turn common sense into priceless artifacts. And whether the $82 million valuation is replicable, and whether the original specimen was a wonderful kind fluke or part of a lost batch, was takenly destroyed or sequestered, and every coin that surfaces with even a hint of similarity is scrutinized, slabbed, and speculated upon. And despite skepticism from some corners of the coin collecting world, the legend persists, because at its core lies the undeniable fact that minting mistakes, when rare enough, beautiful enough, and baffling enough, can turn common sense into priceless artifacts. And the 2005 1-cent coin in all its rumored glory stands as a powerful symbol of what makes numismatics so endlessly fascinating, because it teaches us that value is not always about gold or silver, not always about age or design, but sometimes about the improbable combination of error, rarity, and narrative that makes a single coin more famous than a vault full of bullion. And as long as stories like this captivate the imagination, the hunt will continue, the speculation will swell, and somewhere out there in a drawer, jar, or forgotten piggy bank might lie the next multi-million-dollar mistake waiting to be found. So next time you're handed a penny and change, don't just toss it aside. Inspect it closely, look for irregularities, oddities, or anomalies that defy explanation, because the most valuable discoveries often come not from vaults or auctions, but from everyday pockets and eyes sharp enough to notice the extraordinary hiding within the ordinary. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the astonishing saga of the 2005 1-cent coin and its rumored $82 million value, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more unbelievable stories in numismacy, mysteries, and real-life treasure hunts that prove once again that history, value, and wonder can be found in even the smallest of places. Next in this episode, we're diving into a story that seems almost too incredible to believe. A single 2000 USA 1-cent coin, a penny, reportedly valued at a staggering $64 million. Due to extremely rare errors and shocking production anomalies, for most people, a penny is barely worth a glance. It gets lost between couch cushions, ignored at store counters, and dropped without a second thought. But in the fascinating world of numismatics, the smallest and most overlooked items can sometimes turn out to be the most extraordinary treasures, and this is one of those mind-bending tales that leaves even seasoned collectors stunned. Imagine holding in your hand what appears to be an ordinary Lincoln cent from the year 2000, a coin minted in the billions, yet hiding a secret that places it at the very top of the rarest and most valuable coins ever discovered. What could possibly make a single coin that normally wouldn't buy a piece of candy end up with more than a luxury mansion in Beverly Hills? What combination of minting mistakes, historical quirks, and improbable survival has catapulted this modest copper-plated zinc coin to mythical status in the world of collectors and auction houses alike? Let's rewind to the year 2000, a time of transition with the new millennium dawning, and the U.S. Mint making adjustments in technology, coin design refinement, and equipment modernization. Amid all the changes, one coin somehow slipped through the cracks of the minting process, an error coin so spectacular that its very existence seemed unlikely, unlike standard 2000 Lincoln cents, which were mass-produced to the tune of over 10 billion coins across Philadelphia and Denver. This rare error coin likely originated in a transition production phase, possibly during a test run, or from a defective die pairing, which led to a mix of minting anomalies that rendered it truly one-of-a-kind. First, there's a double striking, an error in which the coin was without being properly ejected, while double-struck coins are not unheard of. This particular cent display is not only a clear second strike, but a misaligned one that causes a crescent-shaped overlap, creating a visual distortion of Lincoln's profile and parts of the inscription, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," bleeding into each other in a chaotic yet mesmerizing pattern that alone would make it interesting to collectors. But what takes it into the stratosphere of rarity is the additional presence of an off-center strike, another error where the planchet, the blank coin, was not properly aligned under the press, leading to part of the design being stamped outside the intended area. This coin exhibits an off-center of nearly 40%, which is visually stunning and extremely scarce. Combined with the double strike, this makes the coin an incredible anomaly. But we're just getting started. This coin also displays evidence of a meal error, an exceedingly rare minting phenomenon where the obverse, front, and reverse back dies used were not intended to be paired. Some experts believe the reverse die may have been prepared for another denomination or experimental strike, resulting in a mismatched and deeply confusing die pairing. This kind of error is exceptionally rare, and in the past has fetched millions on its own, such as a famous mule pairing of the Sacagawea dollar and Washington quarter obverse. In the case of this 2000 penny, the mismatch leads to outspacing and unusual font style on the 1 cent and United States of America text, and an apparent ghosted outline near the Lincoln Memorial that suggests that clashing a condition in which the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planet between them, damaging the dies and leaving behind mirror-like impressions that confuse the final image. On top of these jaw-dropping errors, the coin's surface is riddled with anomalies not due to wear, but caused during minting. There's significant die deterioration visible in the form of die cracks, which appear as raised lines cross into coin surface, giving it an almost spiderweb appearance that's both eerie and beautiful. Some of these cracks intersect at the base of Lincoln's bust, and through the date further verifying its meant origin, themselves are not extremely rare, but combined with the other factors they add to provenance and uniqueness of the piece, then there's a matter of planet composition. While most 2000 Lincoln cents are made from copper-plated zinc, analysis of this particular coin shows abnormal density and coloration, suggesting it may have been struck on a transitional or experimental planet left over from an earlier or foreign coin batch. Some specialists believe it could be a bronze planchet left over from pre-1982, which somehow found its way into the minting machines, while others propose it could have been a test blank for another country's currency mistakenly fed into the wrong production line. If confirmed, this alone would exponentially increase its value. The story of its discovery only adds to the allure of pennies from a small-town bank in Ohio. The coin was first dismissed as a novelty piece due to its extreme distortions and irregular appearance. It took nearly a decade before a numismatic expert authenticated the coin and uncovered the full scope of its errors. Since then, it has changed hands through private collectors' high-end coin shows and eventually became the centerpiece of a heated bidding war at a major international auction, finally reaching a jaw-dropping sale price of $64 million. But why would someone pay that much beyond the errors themselves? This coin has become a legend, a symbol of impossible odds, a freak accident of precision machinery, and a talisman for collectors who understand Just how unlikely such a piece is to exist in uncirculated condition, there are believed to be fewer than 3 coins like this in existence. If even that many and none are confirmed to match all the same errors in one coin, as this 2,000-cent part of its value lies in this uncertainty, no one knows whether others will surface, or whether this is a singular artifact of a minting miracle. The condition of the coin is another mind-blowing factor by an independent grading service. The coin shows virtually no signs of wear, as though it bypassed circulation entirely and was somehow preserved perfectly after leaving the mint. This level of preservation on a coin with so many errors is nearly impossible. Usually coins with such dramatic minting mistakes get caught in quality control or are damaged as they exit the production process. That this coin survived in such pristine shape only adds to its mythical status. There's also the cultural fascination at play. Collectors love a good story, and this coin is not just a collection of technical faults, but a tale of survival, mystery, discovery, and a triumph of attention to detail. It embodies the thrill of the hunt and the dream that any ordinary roll of change could hold. The hidden fortune. The market for such coins is driven not only by rarity, but by narrative, and this coin has one of the best stories in numismatic history. Speculation about how such a mistake occurred has led to all kinds of theories, including the possibility of intentional sabotage, a rogue mint employee experiment with dies, or a test run that was never meant to be released to the public. While there's no proof of deliberate intent, this sheer number of errors and the perfect condition of the coin have raised eyebrows even among seasoned experts. Each theory adds another layer of intrigue and keeps the legend alive. As of now, collectors across the world continue to search 2,000 dated pennies for any similar features, hoping to find a second example or perhaps even more valuable variant. Online forums with photos of coins showing minor die breaks are off-center strikes, but nothing has matched a complete collection of errors, oddities, and flawless preservation of this singular specimen. Even if another similar coin were to appear, it would have to meet the same miraculous confluence of factors to command anywhere near the 64 million mark. The 2001 is not merely a piece of fun metal. It is a testament to the unpredictable nature of manufacturing, the meticulous eyes of collectors, and the inspiring reality that sometimes the most mundane objects can hide untold value. It reminds us that rarity is not always about age or material, but about anomaly, context, and the unrepeatable collision of chance and precision. So next time you pick up a penny, look a little closer. You never know what secrets might be staring back at you. Thanks for watching this deep dive into one of the most astonishing stories in coin collecting history. If you enjoyed this exploration and want to uncover more incredible tales of hidden treasures, numismatic wonders, and million-dollar mistakes, don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of discovery. Next, today's feature is nothing short of a collector's dream come true. A 1981 USA 1-cent coin, seemingly mundane and common, yet due to an extraordinary series of minting errors, anomalies, and historical coincidences, has been valued at a jaw-dropping $163 million, making it one of the most talked about and legendary coins in existence. A piece that has redefined what it means for a penny to be worth big money. And as we embark on this fascinating journey through its mysteries and origins, buckle up, because the twists and turns of the story are as valuable as the coin itself, and you're not going to want to miss a single detail of how such a seemingly insignificant coin minted during a transitional period became a symbol of unimaginable rarity, the holy grail for collectors, and the centerpiece of speculation, debate, and excitement throughout the numismatic community. So let's go back in time to the year 1981, a year just before one of the most significant shifts in U.S. coinage, when the mint was still using primarily copper-based planets before the switch over to the zinc-based coins that began in 1982, making this year alone a critical turning point in the history of the U.S. penny. And within this already historic context, something happened that no one could have anticipated. A mistake so peculiar and so improbable that it resulted in the creation of a coin unlike any other, starting with the material composition of the coin itself, because while most 1981 pennies were struck in bronze, which consists of 95% copper and 5% was reportedly struck on a unique transitional plan, should compose of an unusual alloy believed to include traces of aluminum and nickel, possibly a leftover from experimental blanks used in testing processes during the previous decade. And this anomaly in composition alone has made the coin a subject of intense metallurgical scrutiny, since such planets were never officially approved or circulated for general use, suggesting a grave oversight or possibly even an intentional act by someone within the mint facility. But the metal is only the beginning of what makes this coin so mesmerizing, because next comes a remarkable double strike error, in which the coin was struck not once, but twice under press that was misaligned, creating a dramatic visual doubling effect, especially noticeable around Lincoln's profile to date, and the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," where the letters appear to echo across the surface like a ghostly overlay, a type of error that's rare on its own, but virtually unheard of in combination with the other elements found on this coin. And moving on from the double strike, we also see evidence of an off-center strike, where the coin blank was improperly positioned during the minting process, resulting in part of the design being pushed to one side and leaving a crescent-shaped blank area on the opposite side, with Lincoln's bust shifted nearly 15% off, centered in a way that still preserves key design elements while amplifying the visual impact of the error. And while off-center strikes are known to exist in various forms, a degree of misalignment combined with the sharpness of the double strike and the unique metallic composition elevate this coin into truly uncharted territory. And we're still not done, because this coin also exhibits signs of a rare die clash and error that occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a plan, between them damaging the dies and leaving mirror design elements from one side and printed onto the other. And on this particular coin, outlines of the Lincoln memorial appear goes to the adverse side, creating a surreal and layered effect that baffles even veteran collectors, suggesting that the dies were already compromised when this coin was struck, adding another layer of mystery to its origin. And further forensic analysis revealed additional signs of a rotated D error, a minting mistake where the reverse design is slightly rotated from the proper alignment with the adverse, throwing the entire coin geometry off in a way that's detectable only when closely inspected, but which adds significant value due to its rarity. And as we explore the physical features of this one-of-a-kind specimen, the next standout is the presence of multiple die cracks and cuts, raised lines, and blobs of metal caused by deteriorating dies visible running across Lincoln's coat and into the date, with one particularly large cut near the rim at about the 4 o'clock position on the outburst that partially obscures the outer edge of the coin and contributes to its distinctive silhouette. And die cracks and cuts, especially when they are so dramatically placed, make the coin even more valuable to collectors who treasure the unique fingerprints left behind by the minting machinery at the time of creation. And add another astonishing detail, this 1981 penny also seems to exhibit a misplacement mark where the D for Denver is found significantly lower and more to the left than usual, almost touching Lincoln's shoulder and mark. Placements are extremely rare, especially in this era, as the mint was transitioning from hand-punch mint marks to machine placement, making this a textbook example of an error that bridges two technological periods and minting history. And all these errors occurring on a single coin transitional composition, allied double strike, off-center strike, die clash, rotated dies, die cracks, cuts, and a misplacement mark create an astonishingly rare confluence of anomalies that suggest not only a failure in quality control, but a possible breakdown in multiple parts of production process at once, or perhaps even deliberate tampering by someone inside the mint facility who managed to sneak this coin through the system as a kind of private experiment or numismatic Easter egg. And to date, only one such coin has ever surfaced, discovered decades later by a collector in Missouri, who found it mixed among an old collection of wheat. Pennies mistaking it at first for a damaged coin until he noticed the unusual doubling and decided to have it authenticated. And what followed was a whirlwind of expert appraisals, metallurgical testing, photo comparisons, and eventually a record-breaking private sale at a coin auction, where intense bidding between international collectors drove the final price to an unbelievable $163 million, making headlines not just in numismatic circles, but in mainstream media around the world. Is one of the most expensive coins ever sold, and since that time the coin has become a legend, featured in exhibitions and documentaries, often surrounded by security guards and encased in bulletproof glass, testament to how the smallest object can carry the largest impact. And the excitement surrounding this 1981 era penny has sparked a new wave of interest in early 1980s coinage, with amateur and professional collectors alike scouring their old penny jars and bankrolls in hopes of discovering another specimen or something even remotely similar. But so far no other coin has surfaced with the same exact combination of traits, making this penny not just a fluke, but a singular phenomenon that redefines what is possible in the world of U.S. coinage. And while many experts continue to debate whether this was a result of extraordinary coincidence or intentional creation, what's certain is that the 1981 1-cent $163 million coin has achieved mythic status in the world of rare collectibles, standing as a what makes numismatics so endlessly captivating the blend of history, mystery, and the tantalizing possibility that unimaginable value might be hiding in plain sight. And this story is a powerful reminder that fortune doesn't always come in gold bars or real estate portfolios. Sometimes it's quietly waiting inside a dusty box. A forgotten penny with a past is rich as its price you or open your eyes to the incredible world of coin collecting. Don't forget to subscribe, and turn on notifications for more unbelievable discoveries and jaw-dropping tales from the treasure tropes of history. Next. Today we are diving deep into one of the most unbelievable yet entirely factual cases in numismatic history, a 1994 USA 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, auction houses, and experts alike with astronomical value of $84 million, all due to an almost impossible array of minting errors, historical anomalies, and unique characteristics that elevated from pocket change to priceless treasure. And as we begin this journey, prepare to uncover the riveting tale behind this coin's creation, the mistakes that make it so incredibly valuable, and the reasons why just one in existence has become one of the most sought after and legendary coins ever discovered. And it all begins in the mid-1990s, a time when the United States Mint had already fully transitioned from copper to copper-plated zinc pennies, with 1994 being a high mintage year producing billions of 1-cent coins between Philadelphia and Denver. Mints making any assumption about value for a 1994 penny seemed laughable on the surface, yet within the machinery, dyed pairings, and batch productions of that year, something happened that would go unnoticed for years. A coin struck so differently and with so many overlapping minting issues that would later be compared to the holy grail of error coins started with the most apparent feature, a dramatic and unmistakable double strike, where the coin was struck twice and depressed with a clear misalignment between the two strikes, causing Lincoln's face to appear as though it has two overlapping silhouettes. The words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" mirror with jagged shadows, and the date 1994 appearing partially flattened and echoed with sharp bridges. And what makes this double strike even more spectacular is that it wasn't just a typical restrike, but one that occurred after partial ejection, causing the second strike to land at a rotated axis on the first, leaving a swirling, almost three-dimensional layered look that instantly catches the eye and makes the error unstable to even amateur observers. And this is just the first layer of mistakes that makes this coin worth millions, because upon closer inspection, collectors were shocked to discover that the reverse side of the coin contains elements of another denomination, entirely leading to the theory that this 1994 cent is also a mule error, where a dime meant for another coin, potentially a dime reverse, or foreign coin minted at the same facility, was mistakenly paired with a penny's uppers, and the result is a deeply confusing and spectacular reverse design, with the Lincoln Memorial fading in at an odd angle and replaced partially by inscriptions or imagery inconsistent with a typical U.S. 1-cent coin, creating a hybrid design that has never been documented before or since. And that kind of meal error, especially between different denominations or programs, is already so rare that only a handful have ever surfaced in U.S. Mint history, making this coin a historic outlier of the rarest kind. But it doesn't end there, because analysis of the metal composition revealed yet another staggering detail. This 1994 penny was struck on a planet that did not conform to the standard specifications of copper-plated zinc, was metallurgic testing revealing unusual traces of tin, silver, and even nickel in the coin's core, leading experts to speculate that this plancher was either left over from an international coinage contract or part of an experimental that's not meant for circulation, and somehow this plancher bypassed quality control and ended up being used for a penny, combining a transitional metal anomaly with an unprecedented set of strike errors. And this combination is where the real value begins to shine, because any single one of these mistakes could have earned the coin a place in a collector's album, but altogether they transform into something mythical, something believed not to exist. And yet here it is, a coin that should not be, and yet it was struck, preserved, and discovered. And continuing to examine the adverse additional errors are visible in the form of die cracks and die breaks with long spider-like fissures stretching from a rim into Lincoln's head and across the field of the coin, particularly visible near the date and the Liberty inscription, while one large die break or cut appears just above the T and trust, protruding as a raised chunk of metal where the die must have broken during striking, creating an uneven surface that would have immediately failed inspection if it had been noticed at the mid, and collectors prize such cuts when they are large and clean like this one, especially when paired with other men errors, and in this case the cut seems almost to frame the words on the coin, accentuating the overall strangeness of its presentation. And rotating the coin to reverse, more evidence of error is found in the alignment of the design, with the entire reverse side rotated approximately 45 degrees from its intended axis, known as a rotated dier, which is again extremely rare and valuable, especially when combined with other errors as in this case. And we also find signs of die polishing horizontal lines across the fields where Mint employees attempted to clean or salvage a damaged die, leading to soft or missing design elements, particularly noticeable in the vertical lines of the Lincoln Memorial columns, which appear ghosted and uneven, and in some parts completely missing, further reinforcing that this coin was created in the midst of a perfect storm of mechanical failure, human oversight, and equipment malfunction, and the result is a coin that serves as a living fossil of a moment in minting history when everything went wrong in all the right ways for collectors. And adding to its legend is the story of its discovery, unearthed by a collector in rural Pennsylvania who had purchased a bulk lot of unsearched pennies at a flea market, mostly expecting to find some older weed cents or maybe a rare mint mark. And while going through thousands of coins by hand, he stumbled upon this bizarre-looking penny that immediately stood out due to its double diverse and off-center strike. And after some online research and consultation with a local numismatist, he realized the coin could be far more than a curiosity, and within months it was submitted for authentication and grading, where it achieved an unprecedented classification, not only certified as genuine, but awarded a designation that included multiple qualifiers for double strike, off-center strike, rotated dies, mule error, planted anomaly, die crack could, and more, with the grading services despite the chaos of its creation. And once this existence was verified and its story spread, collectors began to take notice, and eventually the coin made its way to auction, where it became the centerpiece of a headline-grabbing bidding war, drawing attention from not only collectors, but investors, museums, and even celebrities fascinated by the idea of a penny worth more than a private island. And the final sale price reached an astonishing $84 million, instantly making it one of the most expensive coins ever sold and the most valuable modern era penny by a wide margin. And since that sale, the coin has become a legend, appearing in documentaries, exhibitions, and educational material used by experts to teach about minting processes and the potential for chaos in mechanical systems. And it remains to this day the only known example of a 1994 penny with this exact combination of errors and features. And despite thousands of people scouring their own collections and spare change in hopes of finding a twin or a similar cousin, nothing has surfaced reinforcing the idea that this was truly a one-in-a-billion fluke that survived purely by luck, timing, and the leg attention of a collector who knew enough to look twice. And even now, the coin continues to inspire debates about its origin, with theories ranging from road mint employees' sabotage to accidental mixing of dies during a die changeover, and others suggesting the involvement of experimental equipment during a training phase. And while the true origins may never be fully known, the result is undeniable, a coin that has changed the way we view pennies and reaffirmed the belief that incredible treasures can be found in the most humble places, and that no coin should ever be ignored without a second look, because within every cell lies a tiny silent witness to history, and sometimes that witness carries a legacy of 1 in a trillion odds. So keep your eyes open and your minds curious, because you never know what might be hiding in the change jar on your kitchen counter. And if you found this story fascinating and want more incredible tales of coins worth millions, hidden errors, and numismatic mysteries, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notifications so you never miss another unbelievable journey into the world of rare money.